Many citizens of New York who have engaged in this debate, who are lined up to speak at council hearings, who are lined up right outside this room, filling up the rotunda, who have written dozens of letters to the editor, who have spoken out, signed on to websites and the like. Mr. Mayor, it should be no surprise that this has generated so much passion. This is a debate that is really not about term limits. It's not about you. It's certainly not about me. But this is about the very foundation of how we do things here in New York City. This is about our right to vote. This is about the way we solve big issues in our city and the way we're going to be able to deal with them in the future. This is at the very fundamental level, as has been said again and again, about whether or not we're going to honor the votes of New Yorkers. You know, New Yorkers don't engage in referenda very often. They do it sparingly. And when they do it, frankly, it should be respected. And I think that voters do have a sense, and when you look at the polls, it's a 90% say that no matter how we feel about term limits, we believe that this process is simply not right because it takes away their fundamental right to vote. It should not be lost. The irony of us being here today in a packed city hall on a bill that would take away the right to vote on the day before tens of millions of Americans are going to work very hard to get to the polls and stay on long lines to do so should not be lost on any of us. It's also about how we make these types of decisions. It is hard as a New Yorker, Mr. Mayor, not to be embarrassed on behalf of our government about the way this decision has been made. We had one day of hearings for the public in which really the first 4 hours were for elected officials and representative of the administration. We had it in one borough. The follow-up hearing was arguably at the smallest hearing room maybe in all of democracy. Rather than having hearings in all 5 boroughs, rather than doing this over days, and weeks, and months, we've done it, frankly, in the worst possible way. And the third element of this that shouldn't be lost, and this is the one I want to appeal to you directly on. You know, Mr. Mayor, I, like you, I love this city. I want us to work very hard to solve the problems that we have. I want us to work together to do it. There will be plenty of time for elections later on. And I want you to be successful. I want the city council to be successful. Elections, voters, casting their votes is the foundation upon which all of us have the legitimacy to allow us to do our work. We are going to have to all pull together and lead New Yorkers in the months to come, and this, unfortunately, is going to make us all less able to do it. You know, you have shown in the past that sometimes you listen to these hearings very carefully, and you've decided, in the case of the pedicab hearing, not to sign the bill and to eventually veto it. You said you didn't listen to the testimony of the city council. Well, now you're going to have a chance, and I honor you for sitting here and listening. And what we can do is the thing that your corporation council said we can do, and that is to have a referendum to put this on the ballot. And one final thought, Mr. Mayor. You have said again and again, this is about additional choice. I think New Yorkers not only want a choice in November of 2009, they want a choice and a vote